Hey everyone, welcome to I Totally Love It. My name is Susan, and welcome to my weekly series called Junk Journal Sketches, where we take a card making or scrapbooking layout and we turn it into something we can use in our junk journals. Um, you can also use it in your scrapbooks or your cards. So, this particular sketch comes from well, originally it was paperplaysketches.blogspot.com, but they got moved to pausedreamenjoy.blogspot.com. But don't worry, that link is in the description of this video. So this is a pretty simple one. I am making something for my May Junk Journal Madness Journal, which the theme is grungy. My guest collaborator is Tammy from Lou Frou Frou Studios. And so you're going to get a sneak peek at some background tag that I'm going to use because I actually made this for tomorrow's video for my M is for Mondays mojo, and it's the first Monday, so masterboards. And I've cut my masterboard up into some tags and whatnot, and I want to use one for my base of this tag that I'm making. And I'm not going to tag the corners. I'm not going to angle the corners. I'm going to keep them. I might round them, but I'm going to keep it pretty rectangular shape. Very very basic. Now this is a card making sketch, so you're going to see the matting on there. You don't have to do that, but you can. Once again, it's always you do you for whatever project you're working on. So here's one of my tags I made. I have that, and instead of a rectangle piece, or in place of this rectangle shape here, I'm going to place a 10 Holtz, we call them paper dolls, and these little photo images. And I've got 3 gentlemen because this is a grungy journal, and I think of a hardworking guy, back in the 30s and 40s, maybe working on the railroad, or but just someone working with their hands. Um, and to me, it's a very masculine feeling journal. And maybe that's just where my mind is going. Once again, you do you. For this little piece across here, I've pulled up one of my scrap bags. I have these like gallon size bags where I've put like random scrap papers that really didn't belong to a set, or they're kind of coordinated. So this is like my purples, pinks, oranges, and tans and golds. I have these from Your Creative Studio in there, and they're like textured paper, almost like wallpaper. And that one looks like wallpaper. And so I'm trying to think, maybe I want to do that for my cross piece, but it's going to be kind of the same, and then it's going to get kind of lost. So I'm rethinking that. And I'm looking at other papers in here. I may end up going with something slightly colorful, or just darker, maybe like a darker brown. There's like this piece, like looks like leather. That would be cool. I know on the camera it looks maybe a little reddish, but it's like leather. And what else do we have in here? I really don't want anything pinkish. That's glittery. I definitely don't want that. There's this leathery piece. Those are both, I think, Michael's cardstock or scrapbook paper. I got this. Oops, I'm dropping paper now. Got this faux wood, but I feel like that's going to get kind of lost, and it's a little different in color. Kind of plain. I could also use this. These are Tina Sheppy Debbie Doodah labels I just never finished cutting, so I could cut a little strip of those. That's a thought. I guess I could go with this, like, just solid, looks like crumpled paper. I guess that's the look they were going for. Okay. So I'm gonna do that. You could put whatever you want. So if you're doing something colorful, both of the I mean this whole thing could be colorful, but once again, I'm using this for or creating this for my Junk Journal Madness journal. And the theme is grungy. So I am going to try to stick with that. So, and then these guys, like which one to use. I kind of like, while we're at it here, before we do anything else, pull these little armpit pieces out. I kind of like this guy because he's leaning his arm up kind of high and, you know, almost like on that bar in the background there. So we're going to play around with it, figure out what we're going to do. So if you will, sit back, relax, enjoy some tunes, and let's get cracking. All right, you guys, I think it took me longer to figure out what paper to put across here than anything else. But I like how that turned out, and it's going to be a great addition to my Junk Journal Madness journal here in May. And like I said, the theme was grungy, and we'd love for you to join us. And you got a little sneak peek at this masterboard pieces. So don't forget to join me tomorrow for MS for Mondays, Mojo, and Masterboards. All right, guys, I appreciate you and your time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you participate, put hashtag Junk Journal Sketches, hashtag JJ Sketches, and don't forget to tag me at I Totally Love It. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, bye bye.